Up first this evening, 48 persons are now in custody after the Clarendon police raided an illegal party on Central Avenue in Maypen this afternoon. Head of operation in the parish, Superintendent Christopher Phillips, is again telling residents to obey the COVID-19 protocols. Anthony Lugg has the details.
One by one, patrons held at the illegal party in Clarendon marched into this bus and were later transported to the Maypen police station. It all happened shortly after 1 Sunday afternoon when lawmen swooped down on the event being held on Central Avenue in Maypen.
When we came to this location, several vehicles were seen. A big party was in session. On the approach of the police, several persons ran in different houses, hiding in cars all over the place. So we did manage to hold on to the persons who are responsible, the owners for this property, who were basically entertaining this event.
But just how big was this party? A monitor box, pots, and the number of persons detained give some clue. Our news team obtained the flyer, which was said to be circulating on social media promoting the event. Its name, Take It to the World 9th Anniversary.
From all indication, this seems to be a regular event. Yes, it was well organized in terms of the tents and the food and the tables, the liquor, all of that. So they deliberately planned for this event, which is a clear breach of the disaster risk management. Over 200 persons we estimate were at this event, and if you look around you notice the kind of activities that were taking place. There's music system, the amount of vehicles, several vehicles that are parked along the roadway and so on.
Speaking of vehicles, the driver of this Nissan Latio was found in his car sweating, trying to hide from the lawmen. We were told he was inside the car for close to 3 hours. Like the others, he was escorted into the truck and then transported to the police station. The clampdown comes 48 hours after the Westmoreland police prosecuted 29 persons for breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act on Friday. Superintendent Phillips again urged citizens to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols.
My team is motivated and ready for the road, and we're going to come and enforce accordingly. We're not going to let up. In fact, we are out doing multiple roadblocks across the division today.
Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
A planet warming faster than humans are able to adapt, and scientists are predicting it may get too hot for people to even go outside in some parts of the world without protective gear. It's one of the issues dominating a United States Foreign Press Center's climate change virtual tour that our reporter, Campbell, is attending.
Human activities such as how we use energy, grow crops, and industrialization continue to warm the earth at an alarming rate. The result, more frequent wildfires in the American state of California, a devastating blaze in Australia in 2019-2020, and outbreaks in unlikely places like the Amazon rainforest in Brazil.
The world had that kind of a significant change in temperature. Huge areas were either under ice when it was colder or were covered by water when it was slightly warmer. These are massive shifts when you look at global averages.
And unless the world significantly slows the impact of climate change, Dr. Jonathan Pershing says things will only get worse. Dr. Pershing is a senior advisor to U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry.
We are looking at a future in which some parts of the world, a number of countries in the Middle East as an example, become too hot and humid where a human life is not sustainable out of doors without protection. And I don't mean protection from the sun and therefore being in the shade. No, I mean the combination of temperature and humidity is too hot for a person to cool him or herself without an air conditioner. That's extraordinary. We don't have places in the world that are like that. And by 2030 or 2050, to expect that to be a number of days per year means you cannot live outside in those places.
Locally, climate specialist at the Meteorological Service, Glenroy Brown, says this summer won't be as hot as in previous years. He has projections up to the end of July.
Although we're expecting high temperatures, they are not likely to be higher than the ones that we have experienced in the past recent years, especially in 2019.
He says it's partly because of a reduced impact of the Saharan dust, which suppresses rainfall and increases temperature.
Last year we had the Saharan dust. It contributed with to the high temperatures, extremely dry conditions. This year we have less impact on the environment. Most persons are working from home. We're not having that type of conditions outside where persons are contributing more greenhouse gases to the environment.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
The man who was being sought in connection with the attack of a businesswoman in Great River, Hanover, is in custody. The woman was left with severe burns after she was doused with gasoline and set on fire. Her common-law husband was held at the Savannah Lamar Hospital this morning, where he had gone to seek treatment for injuries. TVJ News was informed that he was injured during the May 19 incident. It was reported that the couple had an argument at the woman's shop. The man reportedly left and returned with gasoline, which he threw on the woman and the one-room structure. He then reportedly used a lighter to set the woman and the shop ablaze. Meanwhile, a desperate plea this evening from the family of Nicola Clark, the woman who was left with severe burns after that incident in Hanover. The woman is currently being treated at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. However, the hospital is without a burn unit. Anthony Logg reports.
The video showing Nicola Clark after she was doused with gasoline and set on fire sparked outrage across the island after the images made rounds on social media. It has been 3 days since she's been in hospital undergoing treatment. The family has been in dialogue with the doctors who've been working around the clock to assist Miss Clark on the road to recovery, but it has been a task. Natalie Feinberg is Nicole's sister.
The doctor's been telling us that we need to get her to a burn unit because Con Original does not have a burn unit, so there's nothing that they can do for her there. They're trying their best, but they do not have the resources. You know, she needs help. If we keep her there, she's going to die.
With anxiety high, uncertainty lingers about the fate of Nicola, who's now clinging on to life in a hospital bed with severe burns all over her body. The man believed to be responsible for the attack is now in custody, and it's hoped justice will be served. Natalie says though distraught, she remains hopeful.
She's badly burned. She's badly burned, but with the help of God and support of the people of Jamaica and all around the world, we're hoping that we can get my sister the help that she needs to save her life.
But before that can be done, the family must first find a facility with a burned unit.
We are looking for financial assistance to get her airlift from Con Original Hospital to the United States. There is a hospital in Miami called Jackson Memorial. We have not yet reached to the doctor, so if anyone has any contact with any hospital in the United States that has a burn unit, we'd really appreciate it because they have to accept Nicole. We can't just get her airlift to a hospital. They have to accept her. Right now, we have the doctor at the Con Original Hospital. He's working with us. So if we get a doctor here, then they can work together.
Her travel documents were destroyed in the fire, but preparations are being made to have that sorted. The family will have to find over $20,000 and put up collateral to have Miss Clark airlifted.
To get the air ambulance to take her here, that's $20,000. They said that we would have to show up like $2 million with the hospital because she does not have insurance and she's not an American resident or citizen who has insurance.
The family is desperately appealing to the public for assistance. A Help Save Nicola GoFundMe page has been established for members of the public to assist. Anthony Logg, TVJ News.
To a developing story now. A male medical personnel employed to the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover was taken into custody by police investigators today. This following reports that the man allegedly sexually molested a 15-year-old female patient who was being treated at the hospital for a substance overdose. The child was said to have been suffering from depression. Now, the Western Regional Health Authority says it has launched an investigation into the matter. The authority and the hospital are said to be cooperating with the police. The parents of the patient have been asked to take her to the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James for her to continue getting treatment and counselling. And we will have more on this developing story in subsequent newscasts. Stakeholders in Clarendon are this evening sharing how the rise in pig feed prices is affecting them. As you hear in this report from Dwayne Anderson, some suppliers say things have been hard for a while, but small farmers were spared the increases.
If that 30% increase is to come to pass, it's going to be a disaster.
An animal feed distributor with a grim warning of what could happen in the sector if the price of feed continues to skyrocket. The businessman says the hardships were being felt for a long time, but the small farmers were being spared from most of the increases.
However, I know that my suppliers' cost of production has gone up by over 60%, which they passed on only 20% to us distributors. And I further that superfeeds continue or absorb some of that increase just to make it a bit easier for the farmers and lessen their cost of production.
On the other side of the feed supply chain are people like Manfred Chin. He is a small-scale pig farmer in Clarendon. The farmer says feed is just one of the many expensive inputs required to bring a pig to a stage where it is fit for consumption.
700 to 900 pounds of grain to bring the pig to adult stage for butchering. And when you kill that pig, you are getting approximately, say, 120 pounds. That's what it will take to get the pig to that stage. And when you get that pig killed, you're going to be selling the pig for less money than what the feeding cost. And you also have to calculate the purchasing of a piglet, how much it costs to buy a pig. You have to factor in the medicine, you have to factor in the water. All of these things, they really, when you add it up, we're suffering, but people still have to do it. For some, it's like saving. It's like a partner draw right now.
He says the price of feed has gone up 3 times since January, and another hike in pig feed prices right now will put many persons out of business.
A pig that is breeding, she's pregnant at the moment, requires at least 7 to 9 pounds per day. So we have to do that every day, and it's not something we can substitute, as I tell you.
Farmers are therefore again calling for intervention from the government. They say policies that could help reduce the production costs are needed. The Ministry of Agriculture has projected that the price of pork and other pig-related products could go up by 20%. The increases are linked to a 30% spike in feed prices. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
A man is now in police custody in connection with what's being described as a major car-stealing ring in Clarendon. Reports indicate that on Friday, members of the security forces carried out a targeted operation in Racetrack where a large quantity of items believed to be stolen were recovered. Assistant Superintendent of the Clarendon Police, Eugene Downey, spoke with our news team.
At this location, a large assortment of motor vehicle parts was uncovered in what appeared to be a large car stealing ring. There was several assortment of parts for Hondas, Toyotas, and Nissan motor vehicles.
In addition to those items, ASP Downey says several engines with their numbers erased were also seized.
We also seized a Honda Civic motor car that the firewall is evidently tampered with. One suspect was taken into custody, and we expect to lay charges soon as we continue our investigations into this matter.
Welcome back to Primetime News, and a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. Up first this evening, People's National Party General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell is defending himself amid serious allegations. Speaking on Radio Jamaica's Beyond the Headlines this evening, Dr. Campbell insisted that the allegations made against him by PNP member Karen Cross are aimed at destabilizing the leadership of the party. Ms. Cross filed her defense to a libel suit brought by Dr. Campbell in the Civil Division of the Supreme Court on May 13. Dashan Hendricks reports.
That is taking place is malicious and politically motivated. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell in continued defense of himself against serious allegations brought against him, chiefly by PNP member Karen Cross.
She has made some spurious allegations for which I have sued her, and in defense of that, what has happened is that now she has produced some statements from which the names of the individuals are redacted. So there are no names of anybody on the documents that she has submitted to the court. So I don't even know who it is that she's saying these allegations would apply to.
Dr. Campbell not only slammed the allegations as false, but said they are well coordinated and aimed at destabilizing the very core of the party's leadership by wanting to have the General Secretary removed to bring about a challenge to have the party president replaced. He added that the challenge in last year's general election from a known PNP supporter was a part of a wider plot to get rid of him.
Beginning of this matter, one of the first things that was done was that a letter of resignation was prepared for me to sign. And even if you go on before that...
Prepared by whom?
By one of the defendants, one of the persons who is also being sued by me. It was prepared and sent to me that I must sign this letter and everything will go away.
He said the PNP was the entity which in the initial stages asked the police to investigate the matter and would welcome the case being reopened again after it was closed in April for lack of evidence.
I don't have a problem in asking, as we did at the get-go, for the police to investigate the matter thoroughly. I will subject myself to any form of investigation. I too believe that this is one of the most heinous crimes that could be committed. And it is one of the worst things that somebody could make an allegation against you about. It is something that I would never even consider.
He said he will, however, not step aside because that would be giving the perpetrators what they want, and that is getting rid of him. Dashan Hendricks, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Dr. Campbell's attorneys have called on media houses to apologize and correct statements made from documents that were filed in the Supreme Court as part of a defense by Karen Cross and other accused. The law firm representing Dr. Campbell, Gibson Henlin, did not outline any action that would be taken if the demand is not met. It, however, said it has instructions to treat with Ms. Cross's defense and actions to the full extent of the law. The attorneys also raised concern that unsupported allegations were filed and leaked to the media in breach of a court order restraining the defendants from repeating the allegations pending the hearing of the case. Concerns also about the alleged victims whose identities were heavily redacted in the documents leaked to the media and whether the letters were filed prior to the police closing its investigations on April 18. The attorneys reiterated Dayton Campbell's commitment to protecting his reputation while he continues to deny the allegations.